Hello and welcome to the channel. I am Karen, the everything here at A Little Kinder, and I am so excited to be lifting this layout by Tina. I loved these big circles in the background of this layout. I am going to be using photos from one of our mini trips to the animal kingdom. This actually happens to be from our most recent trip, and I really wanted to go ahead and get them lifted. So I decided to use this really pretty grid paper, but I wanted to back it on something a little bit darker, just kind of to give it an edge. So I've trimmed it out to be about 11.5 by 11.5, or maybe 11 by 11, but this gives that really, really nice border. Now I'm going to use this nifty We Are Memory Keeper circle making thing to make these giant half circles. I went with this wood pattern for one of my bigger circles. One, because it was a scrap and I needed to use it. And two, because I thought it went well with the theme of being at the animal kingdom and having the Tree of Life photo and then that great photo of Thomas with all the greenery. This is a digital paper. So is the star one here. The star one I know is from Simple Stories from their digital online collection. I believe the wood print is from Project Mouse, but I could be very wrong. Anyway, that is what I did for my circles. I did follow the sketch somewhat in that I did two different papers for my circles. You did see there that I used my heat tool. That is a trick that I have for you. If something sticks down and doesn't want to come up, grab your heat tool, not your embossing gun, but a heat tool. You could even grab a hairdryer, and that will help loosen up that adhesive. Now I am just going to use some scraps of some papers that I have to go ahead and finish out this layout. The green paper there is, I believe, a Bella Boulevard. It may be a Doodlebug, but I think it's a Bella Boulevard. Honestly, I when I have scraps, sometimes I forget where they come from. But I really liked this green. It does match the green in those adorable little stars. And so I went with that. I am sticking my papers down and only sticking them down partially. This allows for me to be able to come in and slide things under and move things around if I need to. And since I wasn't 100% sure where everything was going in this layout, I really needed the ability to move some things. So I knew that I wanted to make kind of a visual triangle with my photos. That is why I kind of moved the title from the original layout up to where that Tree of Life photo is going. It just kind of really gave me that visual triangle look that I was looking for. So now we're just going to come in and we're going to add some papers. I wanted to back this photo, but I didn't have a full scrap of anything. So here I am literally piecing together the teeniest, tiniest pieces of whatever I could find in these two prints to put them together to come up with this mat for my photo. I have to admit, it turned out pretty well. Sometimes my plans work, sometimes they're a nightmare. This one happened to work. Not something necessarily that I would recommend. However, it did turn out really, really cute in the end here. And it kind of ties in all of those colors again so that they are there on that photo of Thomas. So we're just going to come in. The next thing I want to do is I want to use some of these pieces from Pink Fresh Studio. I have all of these little frame things. I'm not even sure what they call them, to be quite honest, but I have all of them, and y'all, I struggle to use them. I don't know why. I think I've bought them for every Pink Fresh collection I've ever had, and I struggle. I don't know why. So my goal for this layout was to use as many of them as I could off of this one sheet that that I had that kind of went with and matched. So here I am lining out all of those circles. Just gives a nice edge, something that defines them against the background. We're going to add in a few more circles, kind of lifting things up here and there to put them in place. Cut them apart and hide them. Sorry that I kind of get in the video, but it really is, you've kind of got to get to where you can see what you're doing to get these to work. So we're just going to add these circles in. We're going to add in this one that says adventure, which I really liked. I liked how that one was red and kind of popped. It is not going to be my title, but I did kind of like that. I am going to go with the title of Animal Kingdom, and I am going to use these blue Pink Fresh Studio stickers. I really like these. I like this kind of, I don't know, it reminds me a little bit of a typewriter font. I am going to get the title on here, and then y'all, we're going to move it. We're going to slide it down because, as you can tell, that gap is way too big for those letters. And so I didn't want a bunch of trapped space. So we do move it down. That's when I realized really how bad it was when I went to stick that M on. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're going to have to do something about this. So I went ahead and got Kingdom onto the layout, and we'll come back and we will move Animal down. Yeah. So, you know, you live and you learn, right? We're going to roll with it. So this one doesn't have a lot of journaling on it. Not a lot of extra fluff. I do really like the way that this one turned out. I was really pleased with it once I got it finished. I know that you guys are going to want to check out down in the information below everyone else from the tribe who is hopping. Here is a close-up of that layout. If you're wondering where that picture of Mickey Mouse is, he's all the way back by Kilimanjaro Safaris. And they usually have a PhotoPass person there. So friends, until we're together next time, go make some memories. Bye-bye.